Walking away from fact checking, as well as not reporting anything having to do with discrimination regarding the TPS, I find to be just contrary to American justice, the way we talk about one another. Telling the truth matters. I mean, I know I'm on national television, but you all are local reporters and national reporters. I'm not, this is not a real question, but what do you think? You think it doesn't matter that they let be printed where millions of people read it, things that are simply not true? I mean, I don't know what that's all about. It's just completely contrary to everything America's about. We want to tell the truth. We haven't always done it as a nation, but we want to tell the truth. And the idea that, a billionaire can buy something and say, by the way, from this point on, we're not gonna fact check anything. And when you have millions of people going online, reading this stuff, it is, anyway, I think it's really shameful.
I ask you, we've got to deal with this misinformation. There were hurricane force winds of mis and disinformation live.
All right. Just let me set the stage for you here. This is, and it dovetails or serves as an appetizer for what's coming up later. This is Gavin Newsom complaining to the White House. All right, so the whole stuff about Zuckerberg, I don't even know if he realized or whoever put this video out what you were doing. We have Gavin Newsom. Where's that tweet? Here we go. Let me just show you this. You got 10 Americans dead in the LA wildfires. 10,000 structures reduced to ashes. 450,000 people without power. 130,000 people with evacuation orders. An alert system sending false notifications. And what is Gavin Newsom concerned about? Misinformation. In this piece I'm going to show you, it's a short video, like 45 seconds. Gavin Newsom is complaining to the White House that there's misinformation. At which point, I want you, as you hear this, to understand Kamala's sitting there and, what's his name? Joe's sitting there, and Gavin Newsom's on screen complaining about misinformation. So the first question that should probably come to your mind is, what the hell is Joe supposed to do? As far as I know, Joe Biden doesn't control X. Joe Biden doesn't control Facebook. Joe Biden doesn't control YouTube. Joe Biden definitely doesn't control TikTok. What is he hoping that's going to happen?
People want to divide this country, and we're going to have to address that as well. And it breaks my heart as people are suffering and struggling that we're up against those hurricane forces as well. And that's just a point of personal privilege that I share that with you because it infects real people that are out there, people I meet every single day, people the mayor's been meeting with, and they're having conversations that are not the typical conversations you'd have at this time, and you wonder where this stuff comes from, and it's very damaging as well. But we're here to get the job done.
So that should be very, very disturbing to you. A governor of a state is running to his daddy and saying, I can't handle it. What am I going to do? Well, I need you to stop this misinformation. Just exactly how do you expect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to tell people to stop talking about what they're seeing in California? The fact that that conversation is even happening should make your eyebrows just raise and go, what do you mean? I thought the government wasn't involved in censorship. I'm hoping this video stays up, but I don't know after what I'm going to show you here what may happen, because that is a good lead-in to what I'm about to show you, that these people are starting they openly, they posted it on C-SPAN. Hey man, we need to do something about this. What exactly you going to do, Joe? Or, Kamala, what do you think you should be able to do about people talking about the wildfires? And who's determining what the misinformation is? What are these people about to do in the next 10 days? Maybe that's why what you're going to see Mark Zuckerberg had to say. This is Mark Zuckerberg. It broke the internet earlier. Mark Zuckerberg has come out firing. I don't know if this is part of the concession that Trump's talking about, but as you know, he said he's not going to do the fact checkers. A couple days ago, that came out in the news. We're not going to do fact checking, blah, blah, blah. Then he came out and said, we're no longer going to protect LGBTQ. You want to talk about them? Talk about them, which caused more implosion. Now he decides to fly into Texas and talk to Joe Rogan and put the Biden administration in crosshairs. And he lets everybody know without any equivocation what this administration has been doing. Now, remember the first cut. The first cut I showed you was Gavin Newsom running to the White House on a big screen on a Zoom call, talking to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris sitting there saying, we got to do something about this misinformation. Why did he do that? Because that's what they were accustomed to doing. They didn't think anything about it. They didn't realize, hey, Zuck's no longer with us. Zuck he's left the plantation. I'm sorry, I don't want to say that. That upsets some people. He has decided to go his own way. And he's no longer going to be do Joe's bidding. But you could see by what Newsom was doing, he's used to that. Hey, Joe, you might want to go ahead and make that call. Well, who am I going to call? I can't call Elon. He's going to laugh at me. We'll call that dude Zuckerberg and tell him no more. Take him down. He's not listening. What do you mean? So right now, high-placed Democrat politicians are now realizing they're naked. You just saw Gavin Newsom complain to Joe Biden, do something, and shut this disinformation down. And now, they got no one to call, just these people here. So wait till you hear this.
One. These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and scream at them and curse, and it's these documents it's all kind of out there.
Did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we but I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails. the emails are published. It's all kind of out there, and they're like, and basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They wanted us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're going to see an ad that says, okay, if you took a coke, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, this sort of class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. And we just said, no, we're not going to take down humor and satire. We're not going to take down things that are true. And then at some point, I guess, I don't know, it flipped a bit. I mean, Biden, when he gave some statement at some point, I don't know if it was a press conference or to some journalists, where he basically was like, these guys are killing people. And I don't know, then all these different agencies and branches of government basically just started investigating and coming after our company. It was brutal.
So I'm looking in the chat and I'm seeing the same refrain. I'm seeing the same thing where people are like, I don't trust him. I don't care if you don't trust him. He hasn't earned your trust. That's not what this is about. What this is about is a complete culture shift. obviously it's not going to happen overnight. Facebook's a big company, and some of these people are willing to die on their, basically, to commit hara-kiri before they just completely let go, before he exercises all the demons out of his company. The point that you need to be focusing on is that things, Donald Trump getting elected, is changing the game. What the Democrats had counted on, which you saw with Gavin Newsom, is no longer something they can count on. It will take time for all the internal nuts to be excised from Facebook. But the point is, now, for some reason, he's out here telling everybody in the world what the Biden administration has been doing. And he's on the biggest podcast in the world, Joe Rogan, letting everybody know. So it's not about trust. Right now we're seeing full disclosure, which that means he's probably going to be cooperating with Kash Patel. Because if what they've been doing has been violating people's civil rights, banning people, censoring them, all kinds of things, it's a long way away from being okay. But what we're seeing is somebody has dropped the armor. And now he's out. He was on Fox, not him, but one of his lieutenants. And now he's on Joe Rogan. He went to go meet with Trump. Don't expect everything to change just today. Look at where the puck is going. The puck today is still a filthy network that, has done bad things to many conservatives, yours truly included. But I can see where things are going. There is no way this guy would be out here making a mea culpa and pointing fingers at the Biden administration directly, saying you coerced me, you forced me, you threatened me. So you got to listen before you, Zuckerberg, Facebook. Listen to what he's saying. He is saying that the Biden administration committed a crime. I hope forget your feelings about him. Imagine right now you're Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, and you've got the notepad out. What they do? They said you had to do this. Oh, so they knew they were lying to the American public about that thing, Oh, so okay, continue. I'm trying to bring you information to broaden your perspective, not acting as an advocate for Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg may be out here trying to save his own ass at this point, and he's letting everybody know.
It was brutal.
Wow.
So at the beginning, it kind of seemed like, okay, we should give a little bit of deference to the government and the health authorities on how we should play this. But when it went from, 2 weeks to flatten the curve to, in the beginning it was like, okay, there aren't enough masks aren't that important, to then it's like, oh no, you have to wear a mask, and everything was shifting around. It just became very difficult to kind of follow, and this really hit the most extreme, I'd say, during the Biden administration when they were trying to roll out but I think that while they're trying to push that,
I have to delete some things because this isn't a free world here. And so just some of the stuff he's saying could get you shut down over here because they're not there yet. You see, that's another thing. We're looking at a bunch of redwoods in this forest. And the first one was taken down by Elon Musk, and he went and chopped down Twitter. And now Zuckerberg is out here saying it's time that we chop down Facebook and make them play correctly. There's only one left standing. There's one left standing. And so please understand, Barry hasn't suddenly jerked left, as somebody accused me. I'm not saying trust Zuckerberg. I'm not saying run back to Facebook. What I'm saying is read what's going on. There is a culture shift of epic proportions happening. Scary to the left. All of their pillars are being chopped away. Biden controlled Facebook. Biden controlled Twitter. Biden probably still controls this place. In order for Trump to be successful, I'm not saying anyone needs to trust Zuckerberg. I'm saying we need to work at paving this road. And this road is of making sure we're all on an equal plane. If you want to say something on X, if you want to say something on Facebook, if you want to say something here, the government should not be in your way telling these people, take that down, delete that person, and ban that person. And so what you're hearing, it's gone on for 2 weeks now, Zuckerberg out saying, I'm done with this. I'm a free man. Trump has freed me. And I know I've done stuff. It's almost like watching a mobster become state's evidence. We all know the mobster killed people. We all know the mobster sold stuff. You know, he was in charge of racketeering and different things. But now the mobster's coming out and saying, yeah, and this guy and this guy and this guy and Little Jimmy and Johnny the Snake and all these other guys, they're the ones who were doing it. I need my immunity. I need my get out of jail free card, but I'm gonna tell on everybody. I'm gonna be a stool pigeon. That's pretty much what he's doing right now.
Program, they also tried to censor anyone who was basically arguing against it. And they pushed us super hard to take down things that were true, right? I mean, they basically pushed us and said, you know, anything that says that vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down. And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that. Like, we're clearly not going to do that. I mean, that is kind of inarguably true.
Who is they? Who's telling you to take down things that
it was
that talk about vaccine side effects?
It was people in the Biden administration. So we tried to put in place a system that would deal with it. And early on tried to basically make it so that it was really limited. We're like, all right, we're just going to have this system where there's these third-party fact checkers and they can check the worst of the worst stuff, right? So things that are very clear hoaxes, that there's it's not like we're not parsing speech about whether something is slightly true or slightly false, like Earth is flat, things like that, right? So that was sort of the original intent. We put in place the system and it just sort of veered from there. I think to some degree, it's because some of the people whose job is to do fact checking, a lot of their industry is focused on political fact checking. So they just kind of veered in that direction. And we kept on trying to basically get it to be what we had originally intended, which is just, it's not, the point isn't to judge people's opinions. It's to provide this layer to kind of help fact check some of the stuff that seems the most extreme, but it just, it was just never accepted by people broadly. I think people just felt like the fact checkers were too biased. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily even so much in what they ruled, although sometimes I think people would disagree with that. A lot of the time, it was just what types of things they chose to even go and fact check in the first place. So I kind of think after having gone through that whole exercise, it I don't know, it's something out of 1984, one of these books where it's just it really is a slippery slope. And it just got to a point where it's just, okay, this is destroying so much trust, especially in the United States, to have this program. And I guess it was probably about a few years that I really started coming to the conclusion that we were going to need to change something about that.
Again, as I'm watching stuff here and people are saying, I don't trust him. I don't care. I don't care to trust Mark Zuckerberg. It is not my position to trust Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know him. I don't owe him. He doesn't owe me. I trust Trump. And the very beginning of this video, I showed you what Trump said. And where he said, basically, there's some respect that's been gained, and there's some concessions that Mark Zuckerberg has made. I don't know what those concessions are. I heard what Trump said. And then, for some reason, he shows up on Joe Rogan's podcast. I am still personally banned from Facebook. I can't even get on it. Reason why I show you this isn't to promote Facebook, isn't to ask you to go on it, isn't asking you to open an account or do anything of that nature. What I'm trying to portray to you, it's something very significant is happening. And it's happening very, very fast. November 5th wasn't that long ago. November 5th, actually, November, December, we're talking a little over 60 days. And in 60 days, look at what has happened just this quickly. So I can't even imagine where we're going to be in the next 60 days once Trump has his cabinet in place. Once Biden is gone and he's departed the White House. I'm looking at the progress. I told you I like to listen, hear what the man has to say, what the actions are, who's coming in, what they're doing. John Fetterman going down to Mar-a-Lago, all these different things. Today was a huge win, right?
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
So I don't know what the concession was. I don't know if Trump said, well, you know, it's nice that you're telling me. You got to go tell everybody. And you have to let, and here's what really interesting for those of you that are astute listening to what Zuckerberg said, you know there's a lot more there. He obviously has a lot more to say to whoever he needs to say it to. That was very topical. Even if you notice, Joe Rogan was like, who's they? Who are they? We want names. He didn't name the names yet. Big picture. Big picture. Look, watch what's going on here. So I just wanted to take a second and say, I'm not telling you to trust anybody. Yes, Zuck is not trying to do right out of conscience. He's trying to save his own butt. I'm looking at it like I'm watching The Godfather or mob movies. These dudes he's saving his own ass at this point. Hey man, they made me do it. I'm just telling you, I'll give it all up to you. I'll let you know who did it, what they said, how they did it, what they were trying to protect, who they were trying to protect, where the orders came from, what they threatened me with, what kind of coercion. That's a cornucopia of crime sitting right there. I hope you realize that. At that point, the United States government went into a private business and coerced that business by force to do certain things against its citizens. Light bulbs should be going off on your head right now. Oh, yeah, they did that? Yeah. Take down stuff about that thing because we don't want people talking about the side effects. Whoa, hey, what side effects? Can you see where this could lead to? It could lead real deep into some people. My feeling, as I've told you, is to destroy the Democrat Party. Leave nothing. Destroy the Democrat Party, destroy the media. Zuckerberg's just a step in that. Once, so CNN, MSNBC was involved? Oh, yeah, okay. And they sent this letter to this person, and we're talking about a huge, huge case. I will be personally let down if I don't see Pam Bondi and Kash Patel having to get like a 50,000 square foot warehouse just to put all the puzzle pieces together on who this person was and that person was. It's not about retribution against a political opponent. You guys went after the country. You made people lose their jobs. You made people get stuck with this thing. It's huge. Yeah, if you don't do what the government asks, they'll kind of get you. I believe the guy's name was, who said it? Chuck Schumer? They have 7 ways from Sunday to get you. I think that's what he said. We saw what they were willing to do to Trump. What do you think they were willing to do to Zuckerberg? Or Jack Dorsey? Wait till Jack Dorsey starts talking. I'm pretty sure he's got some stuff to say. Jack Dorsey, in case you don't know, was the former head owner of Twitter.